Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to get into more dabblings of my work with the adaptive AI. And again, I've been taking some old anime classics and just doing some mixes between them and see what can happen. Again, I'm not really good at this AI thing, and but with a large number of generation of images and things that some pretty good results have come out. So again, this is another episode I'm going to cover on my journey through this thing, and see what kind of old animes that we can kind of revive and do a little twist on to see what will happen and see what some of the results are. Okay. Before I begin, I want to remind everyone to go down below, click like and click subscribe. If you have any comments or even ideas of what I might want to try, please put it down below. It does help the YouTube algorithm make more recommendations and that kind of stuff for the videos. If you want to support me financially, the links are below for the page, PAL, and the Patreon. Okay. All the special content that is not available or not allowed on YouTube, I will be putting on the Patreon. Okay, and again, when I'm playing with the sliders and the different configurations, obviously the AI can generate some images that are not TOS for YouTube. So all those things, if you want to see them, I'll have to put onto the Patreon. So again, that's a good thing that you want to get into if you want to see those images over there. All right. So without further delay, let's get into the pictures and let's get into see what happened when I tried to do these sort of mixtures and combinations. All right. Okay. So without further delay, let's get into some of these things that I've tried to do and tried to mix with the anime. So without further delay, let's begin.
Okay, so the next character that I wanted to really try to portray was Chun Li. Very iconic character. I remember playing, using Chun-Li as a character for Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo, and so it's a fun character to use. They're a little different than everyone using Ken or Ryu. So I thought, okay, this would be a good opportunity to try to see what I can do with that. Now I have two character packs that I can sort of work with, and so the first one I've got to work with is Akemi Takada. Now, she does draw a few pictures of Chun-Li, and PC Engine version of Street Fighter. She's got some illustrations and stuff that are in that one. So I figure, the illustrations might end up somewhat the same, but I'm guessing that it'll probably end up more like what Madoka's drawn like, right? Basically another female character, sort of long hair. Of course she'll have it tied in a bun and whatnot, but that's it shouldn't be too difficult to render that, and of course kind of that blue dress that she usually has, again not too difficult to. So let's load it up and let's see if I can see what it generates, and you can see the images are very very kind of very modern Madoka like. And again, I can only post certain types of pictures here on YouTube. All the rest of the more spicier pictures I'll have to put onto the Patreon. Now, that was the first sort of character model that I had to work with, was Akemi Takada. The second one that I had access to was the Satoshi Urushihara pack. Now, again, just like Akemi Takada, Satoshi Shaara also did some official Chun-Li artwork. He made it for those CDs, the drama CDs that came out. And again, very, very nice pictures. Again, you can just distinctly tell that is his style. And again, so okay, well, I got this character model pack. Let's try to, take Chun-Li and let's just model it and let's see what it sort of ends up with. And, like as always, the way I like to describe it is if you have one stack of pictures of, of Chun-Li from, let's say for the Street Fighter arcade games and whatnot. And then you have another stack of basically pictures from Satoshi Urushihara's art book. Now, of course, some of them are Chun-Li, but I mean, I don't think he actually made that many. Probably like 5 pictures, probably, that were specifically Chun-Li. But obviously, they're going to use a lot of character models from, Langrisser, Plastic Little, Legend of Linmar, those type of things, right? So they're going to probably use those and sort of combine them. So, like a slider, if you pick, 80% towards Chun-Li and only 20% Satoshi Urushihara, you're going to get mostly, concepts that you would normally see in a Chun-Li, so the costume is probably more accurate. hairstyles and that kind of stuff are probably going to be more consistent and whatnot. Whereas if you start moving the slider more and more towards the Satoshi Urushihara side, well, things will probably, start changing towards what more or less what, a lot of the models and that kind of stuff that are in the Satoshi Urushihara side is, which is probably, less, less articles of clothing. The hair will usually probably be more poofier, things like, Luna and Legend of Lenmar, for example, Tiaras, those type of characters. Their hair really tends to really flay outwards. So I'm going to probably expect a lot of that. I mean, I imagine it'd probably still be able to keep both buns, that kind of thing. Although it might, again, like Akemi Takada, it might change it to a ponytail or something like that, or that kind of thing. But I think most of his characters tend to be, longer flowing hair. So, it might alter this picture that way. Also, judging by the type of combat suit with stockings, that kind of stuff, it may grab kind of more techier suits and that kind of stuff from, let's say, Langrisser 5. So that's your Lambda, Mariel kind of characters from there. So those are the sort of the effects I expect as I move the slider more and more towards the Urushihara side. And of course, his trademarks and stuff will be always in the pictures, as we all know, because he concentrates on certain parts of the body, as we say. All right. And of course, as the lever keeps going more and more towards the Satoshi Urushihara side, less and less clothes go on, and of course, then that makes it so that I can't show a lot of the stuff that I normally could if I was on YouTube. So again, that's what the Patreon is for. Do check that out if you get a chance. Okay, so another character that I really enjoyed playing with and whatnot was, of course, Katsumi from Dead or Alive. And, as I said in my previous videos that, when I was playing Dead or Alive beach volleyball, that's one of the first games I racked up over 500 hours playing that game. And, so, again, in addition to just being a volleyball game, it was a game that, you spend a lot of time, getting bathing suits and whatnot, and, working around that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, yeah, well, why not, take that and let's, render that in this form. Now, the first thing I decided to do is let's do it in a Akemi Takada style, because I'm thinking that would pretty much make it the same as Madoka with a ponytail, and of course change your hair to like a blonde or red color kind of thing, right? So I thought, okay, yeah. That wouldn't be too difficult, I think. I think that would be probably the result. The AI should have a pretty good, easy time doing. Maybe later on I'll think of doing it, Satoshi Urushihara style as well. But for now, I figured, okay, that would be a nice sort of easy thing to do. So again, I set it up, and I thought, okay, and it started right away producing the results that I kind of sort of expected. A lot of the pictures had a very Madoka, modern Madoka type of look to it again. Very familiar, sort of, beach kind of pictures. So again, I used the beach background that you normally would associate, Dead or Alive beach volleyball with, and that's what we probably would render, right? And so again, it's nice sort of soft colors, a lot of light blues and that kind of stuff, which is the style that I think that she likes drawing a lot of, and so that's why it gains a lot of reference from that. And I found that making the model in this position and kind of moving them was relatively easy. Like I had, as I said earlier in previous videos, where I was trying to do like Iron Man or things like that, some types of things were really difficult to do because there was no good examples of it, or trying to word the command prompts to make it do whatever you want it to do, or to position it the way we do. Sometimes it's difficult, and it's very, very tough to even do simple things, right? Because I know there's some other videos which I had problems. For example, on Iron Man, I had problems putting the helmet on his head, and so trying to get the AI to image something with a helmet on was really difficult. In this sort of situation, sometimes it's hard to tell the AI, I want, a standing pose, a sitting pose, a crouching pose. I want, look around to the back and try to model it after an existing pose that I'm familiar with. So in theory, the AI would have an easier time to make a picture. So for example, if I knew that Madoka was in a sort of a lying pose looking towards the camera, then maybe I would model that after the front cover of the Loving Heart CD. And so knowing that, I'm trying to prompt the AI to pose in that way, and sometimes it was actually quite difficult because you say lying down, it lies down a different way. You try to say put the camera in front of the face, so it swings around a little bit, but then the face looks away, the body faces the wrong way, and so it's not as easy to kind of word your description of the pose and that kind of stuff, clear enough or plain enough that the AI can actually render it properly. And so it's a little bit of a hit and miss, but I mean, I guess you have to be really, really clever on how the description works and just how much sort of examples or pictures of it in that pose and that kind of stuff that it could work it out or make it out using examples that are sort of given it, because there's a lot of prompting that needs to be done in order to get these things to model them properly. But I think overall I think the images look really, really, really good, and it is that nicer soft style which gives that look to Katsumi, which slightly differs from the way how Madoka looks, because the way the eyes are done and whatnot. So it's really nice. Again, as I play with the filters and that kind of stuff, and again, when you go to some of the different bathing suits you get in Dead or Alive, for example, like the Venus and whatnot, obviously I can't post those on YouTube. So again, you have to go to the Patreon to get those ones. All right. Okay, and I'll just give you a quick sneak peek of some of the ones I'm working on right now. And hopefully, I'm getting a little bit better at this. I'm learning how the prompting language sort of works. So, hopefully, I'm going to be able to get some really nice images of stuff coming up. So again, thank you for making it this far in the video. And again, I'll hopefully see you in the next one when I show you some of the results of these new projects I'm working on.
All right, so hopefully find that interesting, and hopefully, there's some images and that kind of stuff that you particularly like. Again, I've posted some of the normal ones available on my various social media, so you can actually have a look at them and have a better view of those things for yourself. Again, if you want to get into the special stuff, that's on the Patreon / PayPal, right? I will be getting into more episodes where I've done some some other characters and that kind of stuff. And again, if you have any suggestions, just write it below. Maybe I'll experiment and see what I can come up with. All right. I really don't 100% want to know what I'm doing with this stuff, but hey, maybe something kind of cool will come up with it. All right. So I hope you join me again and seeing what other new things we can create in the next episode. All right. So until then, I will see you again.